Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. In this video, we're going to be talking about offshore jurisdictions, quote unquote, and we're going to be talking about Thailand in the context of so-called offshore jurisdictions. The first question to consider is Thailand an offshore jurisdiction? And let's first of all parse out the notion of what is an offshore jurisdiction. We're not simply talking about a jurisdiction that's an island or something somewhere. For example, the so-called square mile, the City of London, is often considered to be an offshore jurisdiction in certain ways because it provides certain haven tax benefits, if you will, and it provides certain benefits for those wishing to use certain jurisdictions as, you know, the jurisdiction in which a company is formed, something like this, or banking is done, etc. As a practical matter, yes, there are certain benefits that can accrue to a company here in Thailand under things like the BOI, the Board of Investment Certification structure, or maybe perhaps even like Amity certification. I could see where if one was running a regional operation in Southeast Asia and an American wanted to own their operation outright, unlike most of the jurisdictions, including Thailand, which have some protective measures in place to preclude foreigners from actively just coming in and doing business from the get-go. It may be beneficial under Amity to use Thailand as sort of a kind of a quasi-offshore jurisdiction in that the company could be formed here and doing business regionally or something. But as a practical matter, no, Thailand's not really much as far as a quote-unquote offshore jurisdiction. Most notably, it does have a progressive tax system. There's a corporate income tax here that currently is, at the time of this filming, is at 20%. Most offshore jurisdictions are called that because within the jurisdiction there's virtually zero tax or some nominal tax rate, especially for in jurisdictions where the company is formed to do business offshore. Hong Kong's a really good example of that, where you have a company that's set up in Hong Kong for the specific purpose of doing business outside of Hong Kong, and the tax implications of that kind of structure are relatively minimal. Thailand doesn't necessarily have that, although there are certain exemptions from certain kinds of taxation with respect to things like VAT if corporate activity is occurring outside of the country. But as the notion of Thailand being like a tax haven or an offshore jurisdiction, I don't think is particularly correct. The other thing is the Thai legal system in a lot of ways can be very formalistic, and this is also true for the banking system here. Setting up bank accounts in Thailand can be a rather complicated exercise. There's a lot of documentation associated with it, and then changing things on the bank account often requires physical presence at the bank rather than online, and again requires a lot of documentation associated with whatever one's wanting to change. So I guess the thing to take away from this video is Thai companies are great for doing business in Thailand. They're great for, in some cases they can be very optimal for doing business regionally. But the notion that there's some kind of offshore haven from taxes or something like this just really isn't accurate. And for those who are interested in that kind of a structure, probably a good idea to look elsewhere, at least jurisdictionally.